guest looks after a charity that works in partnership with the West Bromwich Albion Football Club and through sport and education helps to make a difference in the local community. We'd like to welcome Director Rob Lake. Rob, thank you so much for coming on Cuppa TV. Pleasure. Lovely to see you today. I see you're there, intact, ready to play. But Rob, tell us about, first of all, the charity itself. How did that all start?
Yeah, every football club has what was called then Football in the Community, and it used to be ex-players, in a time when there wasn't so much money in football, ex-players needed jobs. So they used to go out with a bag of balls and coach the local community, putting something back into the community and giving those guys a job, really. And it's evolved from there, really. And the Albion Foundation's been going for over 20 years. We've been a charity itself, a registered charity for since 2000, so 15 years. And it's evolved from not just delivering football to looking at lots of different ways in which we can help the community, make a difference in the community. So we work predominantly sort of in a radius of about 20 miles around the stadium. And we do sport, we do education, and we have a real focus on alternative education, disability sport, and getting kids engaged and how we can use football to improve their lives and raise their aspirations, really.
And do you find that sport is something that's lacking perhaps in schools at the moment, Rob, would you say?
I think it definitely is. I think it's lacking in young people's lives.
Why do you think that is?
I think there's a lot of pressure in schools around results and targets and having to, hit these targets, and therefore the things like social interaction, physical education, the softer things that I think are really, really important to make a rounded person. I think they get left behind, and one of the things we do is we go into primary schools and we engage with the children, provide real positive role models, and what I think we can do is inspire those kids for their love of sport. They're a kind of captured audience in that case. If they enjoy the sport, if they're physically active and then they want to do it more often, and then we can provide them with opportunities outside of school, and then it becomes a habit. And then if they've got that habit at 4, 5, 6, 7, they'll keep it. If they don't have it and they dislike sport, then it's very difficult to pull them back.
Yes, it is something, isn't it? If you don't like it at school, or you've not had a very good sort of time with it at school, or just when you were younger, is it something you think you will kind of think, oh, when you get older, I'm not going to, take part in any sport at all?
I think so. I think young people, especially girls, become more conscious of their body, and they sometimes the competitive side of things isn't appealing, and we've got to make it right for them. They should be able to wear what they like. The old image of wearing your pants and vest, is really off-putting for children. There's so much pressure around body image and things like that.
Yes, there is a lot of pressure on body image, particularly for young teenagers, both male and female.
Absolutely.
So it probably goes hand in hand. But tell us about what you do as far as when you talked about education, alternative education. Yeah. What tell us about that?
Yeah, well, we really focus on working with schools around the children that it isn't working mainstream. So that's not necessarily bad children. They're not bad. There's something that's happened in their lives, the way they've been brought up. A lot of them live chaotic lives, and what we try and do is we get them together in a positive environment, something different to school, slightly different. And the schools haven't got the time to dedicate a lot of to understand what these issues are, and we try and unravel what those issues are, and that might be something that's in their family life. It could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be lots of different reasons why they act up at school, and because of our high ratio of staff and pupils, and our staff are really good at really engaging and empowering those kids to learn, and from that we can sort of unravel the layers and get to the bottom of it, find out what their passion is, what their niche is, and it might not be geography, history, maths. It might be, it might be sport, but it's not. We're not just about sport. It might be music. It might be drama. Giving them that confidence and giving them a bit of tender love and care, I think, and some stability to then go on and and make something of their lives.
And do you think it's the practical tips? Do you give them practical tips and advice? What sort of things do you tell them, to actually do to achieve, to make them better?
I think we, as I said, the staff are really good at engaging with them. They give them a second, third, fourth chance, because schools have to be quite regimented, and then sometimes they rebel against it. And we give them that second chance, but we try and build their confidence. You only get one chance at this life, and kids, you know, it goes like a blink in the eye. So you've got to, you know, just make sure that they understand that they can do whatever they want, really, you know, and we try and it's that confidence building, self-esteem, working with them on that side.
It's all about confidence, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, confidence is very important, whatever you do in life. But do you think it's important in sport as well to have that confidence?
Definitely. I mean, we obviously work from sort of grassroots to elite, and you know, we work closely with the football club, and we provide a pathway for that. And in elite sport, confidence is absolutely vital, almost to almost a slight arrogance that you almost need. But having confidence in sport will then go into other areas of your life as well. So, yeah, it's really important. And,
you know, the whole health and well-being that revolves around sport, do you think that's important as well?
Yeah, I think, you know, lifestyle, what children are eating, you know, whether they're, you know, the pressures of drinking, smoking, drugs, those sort of things, what they eat, being sedentary, you know, the world's changed from when, you know, I used to come home from school, drop my bags off, straight out, 3 hours, going back for my tea. Those days have gone. Everything is so structured. Kids can't go out anymore. They're on their PlayStations. So we have to create opportunities for them to do that, or, you know, A, they don't get the social skills anymore, or B, that, you know, they're not physically active, and then, you know, obesity, and then that leads to health issues, and, you know, so it's a downward spiral that we try and work with the professionals, because, you know, that's important that we work with, you know, the NHS, and we work with, you know, the professionals at schools, and we're adding value to what they're doing. We're good at certain things, but we're not the answer to everything. But we work in partnership, and that's really important.
And that is, I was going to say, working in partnership, is that something that really benefits your charity?
Yeah, it's massive. It's massively important. As I said, anything we do is to add value, not to take over something, or, you know, duplication. You know, with all the cuts that have been, it has meant that partnership work has to work. You know, everyone used to talk about partnership. Well, if you don't do it now, you don't survive. So it's really important.
And do the players themselves get involved?
They do. I mean, I've been involved in football a long time, and at different football clubs, and West Brom's are excellent. They're actually, you know, genuinely interested when we get them there. They show a real interest, and you know, what they can do and how they can engage with the kids, and the messages, if it comes from them, it means so much more to the young people. So they understand their responsibilities, and they do it really, really well.
Again, it goes back to what you were saying about being a role model. You know, they act for role models for the young. So it's important that they become that role model, if you like, and behave accordingly.
Absolutely. I mean, football's on another level now. You know, they're the pop stars of today, and they're not angels, all of them, but they can get across really positive messages, and they do that for us, which is great.
And will the charity continue to work as it does in the community? Yeah,
I mean, we really want to focus on making a real difference, not necessarily going out and doing, you know, spreading our geographic. We want to, you know, work with a school 3 days, 4 days a week, so we become a part of that school. We want to work with individuals and make sure that they go from, you know, A to B, and there's that journey, and we actually can see a measured, you know, impact of what we're trying to do. So yeah, we want to be able to work with more young people. So our alternative education, we would like better facilities and develop better teachers to deliver our, you know, our message to young people. From a sport perspective, you know, we're in a lot of schools, and we want to provide those opportunities. Disability is a huge area for us, and we want to be able to, you know, we do a lot sort of junior age group, and then adults is a huge area in disability, which is a concern. It's because if they don't get jobs, which is really difficult for people with learning difficulties and disabilities, then if they go into daycare centres, they do a great job, but physical activity is not necessarily on the agenda, and I think we've got a part to play to make sure that they're physically active, and they go from these wonderful, you know, some brilliant special schools and colleges to then, you know, out in the big bad world, if you like, and there's a gap there that, again, we need to fill in.
And that's where the charity hopefully can fill that gap.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, in partnership, you know. Yeah.
And you're doing challenges, aren't you? Tell us what's been going on, what's recent?
Yeah, so every year we raise awareness, and we need to raise funds for the foundation. So this year we've done the Try Albion Challenge, so 3 parts to it. The guys cycled from Southampton to West Brom, which was 153 miles in 2.5 days. We had 20 cyclists did that. They had the Baggies baton. And the baggies baton was passed at the Hawthorns to our blind footballers and our disability department. They then walked to 120 schools in Sandwell in a week, which is and ended up passing the baton to Blind Dave, who's our ambassador. And Blind Dave is currently in the Sahara Desert doing the Marathon des Sables. And he's running 150 miles in 6 days in 40-degree heat. Today he's got 61 kilometres to cover day and night.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me on Cuppa TV. Thank you. And we're just going to take a quick break now, but come back and join us after the break. Welcome back to Cuppa TV. Joining me now is a lady who's probably better known as Vix from Fuzzbox, the lead singer-songwriter of the all-girl chart band, who had chart hits such as The Pink Sunshine and International Rescue, and were UK's most successful all-female band. Now up to new music and mischief, please welcome Vix. Vix, so great to see you. Thank you so much for coming on Cuppa TV.
Great to be here.
Vix, I mean, that one statement, most successful UK all-girl band, and that still stands today, is that right?
Yes, I mean, we found that out at it's 2010, so we had a Fuzzbox reunion, did a tour and a single and stuff, which was great fun, but part of me was really proud, and I still am, but part of me was really annoyed. Because
why
I
were
thought,
you annoyed?
well, where are all the girl bands? We thought we were kind of just one, you know, on the crest of a wave, and there were going to be loads of female musicians, loads of girl bands, and you know, there are more than there were, but it's still.
But let's define band, because people will think Spice Girls as, but
band.
They're not
a band. They
so
can't play instruments.
Band, it's an instrument.
Oh yes, you've got to be able to play.
You have to be able to play an instrument.
Not a vocal group, because obviously you've got people like the Supremes and
of course,
Girls Aloud. And
fantastic. So in your band, what musical instruments do you play?
So in my band now, Vix and her mischiefs, we've got, I'm on ukulele and vocals, then we've got violin, cajon, which is like a box that you sit on and whack, like, kind of like for rhythm.
Do you hit it with a drumstick?
You can, you can use your hands, or you can use brushes and stuff, and she's got a fancy little pedal. She's got loads of gadgets, Mimi has. So Nemi on violin, Mimi on cajon and guitar and all sorts of other clever things. And we've got Imi on double bass. Oh, so it's really quite a unique sound. I just woke up one morning and thought, I know what I want. I want another all-girl band. I want it to sound like this. And I had, you know, I had the instruments in my head, even personalities and everything, and it was done within a week.
How amazing is that?
Cosmic.
So let's go back, so where it all began. So how did you first start your career, Vix? How did it all start?
Well, we were just schoolgirls, and we were at a club when I was 15, I think, and we were always going out seeing gigs. We were mad on the sort of the live scene, and a band that were friends of ours called the Bang Sisters said they were playing. We said, "All right, who's supporting you?" They said, "We haven't got a support band." So we just basically volunteered and said, "Well, we'll do it." And we didn't have a band. So we went away and it was like, well, you know, Vix, you've been in the solo singing competition. You can be on vocals and you play a few chords, Joe. You can be on guitar. And it was just like that. And we botched it together the afternoon before the gig. And then, and then it went down so well because we were dressed really crazy as well. We had all mad makeup and crazy hair and silly tutus from the rag market, you know, bits of material our mums had cobbled together. And before you knew it, we had another gig and so on. We were signed up at our second gig by a local label.
Wow,
and then before we knew, we were sort of touring the world and on top of the pops and having hits, and yeah, it was pretty fabulous.
And did you think it would happen so quickly? Because it did happen so quickly, didn't it?
No, I didn't have an inkling, no.
Isn't that great, though?
It was kind of good.
And then from there, so you did that. From what year did you
So that was about sort of 91, really. I mean, it seems funny for a band like Fuzzbox, but really I would say it was over musical differences because you didn't really kind of cross-pollinate with different musical styles then. So, because I thought it'd be really nice to have, like, you know, soft girl's voice, but perhaps with dancey drums and, you know, maybe rocky guitar, but it's like, oh, you can't do that. So you seem to have to be really pigeonholed. And I think from starting off from being like 16 and then, you know, kind of being 21 or whatever, your musical taste changed so much. So somebody would be into disco or indie. I wanted to get more guitars in, and we just found it very hard to write together anymore, really. So went off and did our own things.
Ways, and now you've got this new band, Vix and the Mischiefs. Yes, and again, exciting times ahead, I think.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's kind of Americana, so it's a bit kind of country. bit folky, bit rockabilly, you know, all that stuff. We do some covers and some quite quirky covers of things like Royals. We do a really nice version of some modern stuff as well as old things, and then loads of original material that I write.
And do you find that you've still got some fans from your old band, Vix?
Yeah,
Do they come and see your shows?
They do, they do. And so we've started
great?
to. Oh, it's lovely, yeah. So we have started to put in like 1 or 2 Fuzzbox numbers as well in our own kind of
Pink
style.
Sunshine,
Yes,
for
Pink
instance, yes.
Sunshine.
Very popular,
yes,
that one.
Yeah.
But again, do you mind that, or do you find that you don't want to do that now?
I mean, I don't want to particularly do a whole set. I mean, can you imagine something like International Rescue, you know, 5 or sort of Americana style? I just can't see it. Although if someone really begged, I might have a go for a laugh. Yeah. But no, I don't mind. I mean, I'm fortunate to have had that as my background, and it was, you know, they were great days. So, but I'm obviously more interested in what I'm doing now.
And with the Americana band, which is the band you've got now, so just explain that to people who perhaps may not know what that is. What does that actually mean? Is there a way?
Well, I suppose Americana is. I mean, you might say, you know, you could have clothing and cars that would be under the banner of Americana as well, but it's that sort of mainly kind of retro 50s-y, you know, American sort of style stuff mainly. But yeah, our music is like country, rockabilly, folk, bluegrass, that sort of stuff.
And what about your age groups? Do you attract all kind of age groups that come to your concerts?
Yeah, well, we've actually just this weekend done a video for the first single, which is called Fame Is Your Driver, and we've got babies in it and toddlers. We've got people in. Oh, I mean, it's wonderful really, because it really shows kind of Birmingham and the West Midlands the way I see it, which is it's really diverse. You know, every different sort there. So I actually think that it will, you know, will appeal to all ages, because it's still kind of quite poppy. But
and what's that called again? Fame?
Fame Is Your Drive, and it's a bit of a Mickey take. Again, one of my sort of, I suddenly kind of went, oh, I really want to do a video that's like a Mickey take of X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, and I thought someone must have done it. So I was Googling, I was searching on YouTube, and I couldn't find anything like I wanted people to come in like it was a real audition. And I couldn't find anything similar, so I thought, right, let's do it then. So, yeah, I managed to get an amazing team together.
Fantastic. So who's directed it? Because we've actually got a clip of that. I don't know if you're aware today, but we've got exclusive just for Cuppa TV.
I've not been allowed to see it.
And for you, I don't think you've seen it either,
I've not been allowed, no.
So let's take a look at the clip now, and we'll come back.
Okay.
Your 15 minutes fame starts right here. So enjoy it while it lasts and while believe. Will you save or sell your soul in the name of rock and roll? Some say that it's the price of fame, my dear. If fame is your driver, you're likely to crash. You're going to burn out, you're going to thirst. If fame is your driver, you'll get to the top. Pull over, please stop. I wanna get old, I wanna get old.
Fantastic. That was amazing. What was it like for you, Vix, watching that for the first time?
Brilliant. I mean, that is work in progress. Yes. Mark Presti directed it, and he's actually winning a lot of awards at the moment.
Is he? Tell us about that.
Titanic Love, that short film that he's done. But he's a very talented chap. You should have him in.
Great. Another guest for Cuppa TV. Absolutely.
But we're very lucky. You know, I ended up producing it and casting it. And I did a silly choreography thing for a line dance. I wanted to do like a cheesy line dance. Everyone was really, really great. But the atmosphere was so nice. Everybody actually had a really good time. I mean, I've done a couple of things being an extra, and it was horrible.
Really?
You're like in a freezing cold room or a bus, like for hours, and nobody sort of comes to tell you what's happening. And it's really, really horrible experience that I've had, and a lot of other people I know. But we really looked after them, and they had a really fun time.
And you obviously enjoyed making it.
Do you know what? It's one of the best days of my life.
Oh, really?
Seriously, which at my age, you sort of think, I must have had a few good days. I had such fun.
Oh, that's
honestly, wait till you see the whole video with all the different little cameo parts in. And some people pledged.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that, the pledge campaign. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, some people pledged to have like a special little cameo role in the video. So pledge campaign, it's a crowdfunding site, so like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, where fans and friends, family, anyone who loves art, I suppose, can choose something they might want to have that's exclusive. So it'll be the new EP that's coming out next, which is called Music and Mischief. Funnily enough, you said Music and Mischief.
Music and Mischief, there we are.
But then there can be other things like I could do a personalised happy birthday to them, or we could do a house party or signed artwork. Loads of different things that they can have that are exclusive to them.
Fantastic.
And yeah, so if they go on pledgemusic.com and we're on there, and they can sort
and then they can help you.
Yeah, be part of like
And is that important to you?
Well, the fan base is important
involved.
Anyway, isn't it? And you know, it's incredibly hard these days because you don't tend to have the managers or the development deals from record companies that you once had. So you have to do such a lot yourself. You know, you end up managing, promoting, you know, booking blooming gigs and everything yourself, and so it's nice to have more hands to the deck. And I think it's really nice for fans because they get stuff that nobody else has got, and they get everything before everybody else has got as well. Yeah, I mean the pledges start from £5, so it's not. It doesn't all have to be terribly expensive.
But it's just something that they can do, you know, to support you.
Yes, yeah.
Which is a great thing.
Absolutely.
And what's the future for Vix and the Mischiefs?
Ooh, well,
you'll have to come back on the show.
Oh yes.
Would you come back on Cuppa TV
with a whole band?
With the whole band,
yes,
and
please.
perform your
We'd
single.
love
That would be
to.
wonderful.
Yeah,
that would be
great.
Absolutely fantastic.
That'd be fab.
Thank you so much, Viz.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you. Thanks for coming on Top of VE. Thank you. That's it for today. I'd like to thank all of my guests for joining me. Please do get in touch with us either on Facebook or Twitter at Big Centre TV, or you can email the show. Come back and join us again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.